If you remember Corridors of Time or you've ever heard about it, it's a gigantic community puzzle that basically required everyone coming together to gather and collect data so we could put it all together and find a solution to unlock something in game. And at the current moment, I believe that that is going on right now. The whole community believes that that is going on right now, and for good reason. At Weekly Reset, we unlocked a way to get into this room right here, which is like a chessboard looking room. And basically, there was a series of 27 different chessboard setups. And you, the player, had to put specific chess pieces on the chessboard to result in a checkmate situation through 27 different puzzles. And if you did so, then you end up in this situation where we are able to place an infinite number of pieces on any of the 64 squares. And then after we input our solution, after we put in all our pieces, we can offer our answer. Just like that. And the theory is that if we put all of the correct pieces in all of the correct squares, and we offer the answer with all of the correct pieces in all the correct areas, then we unlock something. My personal theory is that it is a cutscene that is going to narratively bridge the end of Heresy into the Edge of Fate, and that is going to roll into Rite of the Nine, so we start really getting into the story and the juice of the Nine and all that good stuff as we get ready for the Edge of Fate expansion and the new Destiny 2 saga, right? So what do I need you for? What does the community need you for? Well, after you complete all 27 puzzles, or if you join the instance of someone, like me, for example, who has already completed all 27 puzzles, you will be able to interact with this water bucket right here. There are no prerequisites to this whatsoever. It doesn't, I don't even think you have to own the season, to be completely honest. You don't have to do any, you can literally, I don't care if you haven't logged on the game in months, you can log on to the game right now, and you'll be able to help out. What's going to happen is, you are going to join the fire team, load up here, and you're going to see the water reveals. If you hold to interact with the water reveals, it's going to spawn a bunch of chess pieces on a chessboard that is specific to you. You get a brand new, you get one of these per character, and they reset on the 50th minute of every hour, which means that every hour, you as an individual player get 3 unique configurations of this water reveals chessboard right here at every 50th minute, 1 per character. And as you can see, it's got a bunch of different chess pieces, some white, some black. It's got pawns, rooks, bishops, kings, queens, all that good stuff. And you'll also notice that when I interact with this, if you look at the bottom left of my screen, it says signal frequency and then a number. So right here, I have signal frequency 481. So this is the 481st version that of this puzzle that can be generated, right? Now, if someone else joins my fire team, so like Lilo, for example, Buddha-san, if he joins on my fire team and he walks up to the water, or if FaZe Johnny walks up to the water and they interact with it, you'll notice that because it's a different character interacting, it's a different frequency and a different configuration of pieces. So right here, if one of them interacts with it, we can see we get signal frequency 1226, and it's a different layout. So here's the theory, and here's where we need you, and we need absolutely every single person who can come help to help. I'm honestly on stream planning on pulling an all-nighter until we get the solution, or at least I'm going to try, because this is, if I learned anything about Corridors of Time, this is something that you absolutely don't want to miss. So here's the theory of what's going on. The theory is that when it comes to the signal frequency, right, aka the number of variations of different configurations of chess pieces, the guess is that there are 4,096 unique configurations of chess pieces. So what do we do with all of them? Once we gather all of the screenshots, the theory is that if you look at a particular screenshot of chess pieces, so if I pull this up right here, and in fact, I'll just screenshot it and move it into Paint for simplicity's sake. The theory is that we're going to take all of these screenshots and we're basically going to combine all of the screenshots of all of the 4,096 chessboards to make one massive chessboard. Now, the theory is that this massive chessboard is comprised of 64 versions of 64 by 64 tiles. And so what I mean by that is, if we look at this screenshot right here, basically what's going on is we see, like, for example, on the right side, we have black rook, white bishop, black king, black pawn, white rook, etc., 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 etc. The theory is that there is going to be another chess piece board and whatnot that is going to have that exact same configuration, but on the opposite side. And the idea is that we have to link together these pieces by matching up their borders, right? So we need to find another piece that on the left side has all of these symbols as another piece has them on the right side. And that indicates that in the overall grand scheme of things, those two pieces are going to link together. Now, I want to be explicitly clear, in terms of your assistance, what we need for this, you don't have to do any of this. You don't have to worry about any of this. We just need your screenshot and your frequency number. So if you don't care about like what the theory is for the overall puzzle, go ahead and skip towards the end of the video where I'm just simply going to tell you what we need from you. But if you're interested in like what the theory is as to how this is all going to come together, then obviously continue watching. So the idea is that we're basically going to take 64 of these screenshots by 64 of these screenshots, and we're basically going to make a gigantic chessboard out of all the screenshots. Because the interesting thing about the screenshots is some of them have very interesting and different configurations. So if you guys keep doing the chess pieces, some of them have a red middle as opposed to a gray middle. And the idea there is that shows, instead of the alternating typical pieces of white, black, it's going to go gray, red, gray, red. So instead of white, black, gray, red, gray, red. Some of them have very interesting centers. We don't know exactly what it means when we get a chessboard piece that looks like this, where the center is like a bunch of like different white and black blocks. So still trying to figure that one out. But you'll notice that some people that interact with it, if I can keep getting various members to interact with it, if you guys don't mind, some of the screenshots have 4 pieces dead center, and they're always all the same exact piece, which is particularly interesting. And so the idea is that we're going to build together all of these screenshots, and once we build together all of these screenshots by linking together all of the borders, so example, like top matches bottom and left matches right, some of them have pieces in the center. So like, for example, if this is, if this one had a center of, if this one had a center of 4 black pawns, and let's say in the overall grand scheme of things on the map, that piece was this piece right here, it means in the overall picture that we're doing, that piece has a black pawn on it. And so the idea is that we're basically, I'm sorry, not 64 by 64, 8 by 8. We're building out chessboards with the screenshots, and there's going to be various pieces all among the board once we build it out. And that is going to have a particular checkmate condition. So as we placed specific pieces to create a checkmate condition to get to this point, once we take all of the community screenshots and we merge them together based on their borders, and we put certain pieces in the middle of certain tiles based on what we see in the middle of the screenshots, that is going to create a large 8x8 screenshot chessboard. And we're going to have to figure out which piece is required for a checkmate condition on that board. And then the idea is of these 8x8 boards that we're building, we are going to have 64 total instances of those. So like if I take a screenshot of this, the idea is we're going to have another instance of that, and then another instance of that, and then another instance of that, and so on and so forth, until we eventually have 64 different instances, and we make an entire chessboard. And of course, that chessboard, these overall instances, will be linked together by 60, by whatever 8 times, by whatever 8 times 8 is worth of pieces, right? Because if you think about, if one single piece has all of these, then you do this 8 times, because we're linking together 8 pieces to make an entire chessboard. And then those pieces, 64 pieces. And then those pieces, whether they're on the top, bottom, left, or right, will then coincide with another 8x8 tile piece of another community-made board. And then we have to keep going and map them all together. And then what the theory is, we're going to look at what every single checkmate piece is going to be for each board. So for example, let's say that the checkmate piece that we need to play to get a checkmate scenario in this board right here is a rook. And then this one is a queen. And then this one is a knight. And then this one is a bishop, etc., etc., etc. We're going to fill this out, the entire 8x8 grid of it. And then the idea is once we get to a situation where we figure out what the checkmate piece is on every single board, we then come in here in game. We fill out all those pieces by standing on these things right here, shooting the square to put the piece in, and then we come up here and offer our answer, and if we have the correct configuration, then we pass the puzzle, and we win. The checkmate piece will indeed always be white, because in the puzzles that we completed leading up until this point, the 27 puzzles that we completed to even be able to get into a situation where we can look at the water to reveal the particular frequency, we as the player are always white, and we're trying to checkmate black. So the idea is that that will persist even in even throughout like the community fan-made puzzles. And so if you know anything about Corridors of Time, basically the way Corridors of Time worked is that you had to do this long puzzle. We had to do a smaller version of a puzzle that got us into a situation in Corridors of Time where we could interact with something to reveal a unique piece of information. And then that also taught us the basic mechanics for how to process that information. And then basically all we had to do was same thing we did before, but just on a unfathomably larger scale. So like with Corridors of Time, everyone ran in, everyone was in the final room after completing the base solution, or in the instance of someone who completed the base solution, they took a screenshot of their individual piece, a piece that had key information in the center, a piece that had tons of different information on the borders to indicate which other pieces it linked to when we created a map. And then overall, the goal was to create a large map by linking all of these pieces together and figuring out which center pieces were required for the final solution, so we knew which all doors to run through. This is effectively, the theory is the same thing, where instead of having 6 nodes of hexagons worth of various symbols, we instead have 4 borders of the map with various pieces, and instead of having a particular symbol in the middle of the unique puzzle piece, we instead have a specific set of chess pieces, or rather one chess piece indicated by 4, because there's technically no one center piece of a chessboard, there's 4 center squares. So instead of finding symbols that indicate which doors to run through, we're trying to figure out checkmate chess pieces that indicate where we're supposed to put them on the board. And in order to figure those out, instead of linking all of the pieces together in a community-made map with hexagon symbols, we're linking them together with chess symbols on the border. Now, where does your help come in? Basically, as I alluded to before, every single player has a unique configuration that they can reveal with a unique frequency number once per character every hour on the 50-minute mark. So I just got 481 right here. There's the 4 symbols in the middle I was talking about, by the way. So the idea here is Wherever this piece falls, that indicates that there is a pawn on that piece when we merge it together with 63 other tiles. And then once we merge it with 63 other tiles, and we know that a pawn is on my piece, we figure out the state of the board and figure out what the checkmate condition is for that. So, what we need from you is, if you're around, I need you to come to my stream, twitch.tv/Mactix, and I need you to join on my fire team. I will have join instructions on screen, nice and easy. That tells you exactly what to do. And I basically need you to join. I need you to come up to the water reveals. I need you to look. I need you to reveal it. And I need you to take a screenshot and remember your frequency number. So you would wait until the 3D is gone. Take a screenshot of this right here, the 2D symbols. Don't do the 3D ones. Do the 2D ones. If you have to do it twice, if you didn't get a screenshot, it's okay. And I need you to remember your frequency number. So you would basically join my fire team, reveal the water, wait, boom, you would screenshot this right here, and then you would look bottom left, see what your buff is, and you would remember 481. 481. And then what you would do is, you'll come into my live stream, and you'll notice that I have a pinned Google Doc link that if you click on, will take you to a very simple form, sorry for the flashbang, where all you have to do is upload the image of your puzzle piece and type in your buff number. So if you had signal frequency 481, you would just simply type in 481, hit submit. Then I need you to change characters and do it again because you'll have a different screenshot for character number 2. Change characters, do it again because you'll have a different screenshot for character number 3. And then wait until the 50-minute mark of the hour and then do it all over again. Or if you just want to contribute one character and one screenshot, just so you can say that you were a part of the community puzzle and that you helped solve it, that is also good enough as well. That is also absolutely very much appreciated. And the reason you want to join on me and do this is because if you try to load up this instance yourself, you will have to solve the 27 pre-rendered chess puzzles to be able to get to the state where you can reveal the water, which even if you do have all of the solutions already at hand, it'll probably take you about 30 minutes to plug all the pieces in. Whereas if you just join on me, I already have them all done and I'm in an instance where they're already all done. So you can simply just join on me, hold E on the water, take the screenshot, you're in and out in 5 seconds. So come to stream, twitch.tv/Mactix if you don't mind helping out, because we're going to need absolutely everyone to come help out on this. If we want to reveal the solution and the reward for completing this puzzle as soon as possible. And I just want to say, I'm so excited that something like this is in the game right now, because Corridors of Time happened about 5-6 years ago, and I reminisce about it all the time because it was just such a cool thing for how the whole community came together and solved something, and like how it takes everyone, right? And so trust me when I say you're going to want to be a part of this, even if it's just one screenshot, because then you get to look back in this in 10 years and be like, whoa, I remember that D2 community chess puzzle where we literally revealed whatever it is going to be that we're going to reveal. And it's going to be cool. So hope to see you. Hope to see you hop in the live stream. Hope to see you help. We're also going to be, I'm going to try, like I said, I'm going to stay up as late as I can. I'm trying to stay up all night if I can. Might even have to blow up an air mattress and sleep here or something like that. But please do come help out, because yeah, this is going to be fun. Twitch.tv/Mactix. See you soon.